line called? It had a lady with a horse. It had Samantha with 2 little kids. What was it called? You don't know? Do you know?
No.
What was it, Emma?
Something kids.
It was kids and teachers, right? And we called it mentors. What was the one that had just kids, that had a blue line around it? What was that called? It wasn't called kids. Friends or peers. And we talked about mentors. Today we're reading a story about mentors. But first, I wanted to show you the picture of Baja, because it's our last week of Baja babies. Look at here. They just took their picture for Christmas. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 babies. Remember, we have our 14 babies up here with our Baja books. I'm going to go off of this picture to read you our story, and then after the story I'll show you some pictures of real life of where this happened. This story takes place in Baja, California, right near Legoland.
Whoa.
About 45 minutes from Legoland is Tijuana, and this story takes place in Tijuana. It's based on a true story. It's a free listening quiz for you, 2.9. Can you take a listening quiz if you are under 2.9? Can you take a listening quiz if your level is over 2.9?
Nope.
Definitely. Everyone is eligible to take a listening quiz on a book that I read. Anna,
Do we have to take the
do you have to? Did I say you have to?
No.
Would it be a good idea if you're not at 100% to get a free half point?
No, I'm only at 20.
Yes.
I'm at 32.
Armando and the Blue Tarp School. I got to meet the author of this book. She's in the book too, and I will tell you about her when we get there. Armando and the Blue Tarp School. Good, I have glasses. All day, Armando and Papa had worked at the dump, picking through trash. Now they trudged down the rocky hillside. Afternoon sunlight shone on the broken glass. Rickety friend says, David, I want your book closed and your mouth closed, thank you. And tumble down houses in their colonia. We talked about colonias. There's one in La Paz. That's where I went, where we're sending the books for story time, is the colonia. Babit! Babit! A truck horn blared from below. Armando pointed. Mira, look, Papa! It's Senor David from last summer. Papa was silent for a moment. Then he said, you can go just this once. Armando hurried down the gravelly path to tell his friend Isabella the news. Hey, Isabella, you're in the book.
I'm in the book too.
Off they ran down the dirt road, across wobbly plank, and past the big rock. Senor David, you're back, said Armando. My friends, mis amigos, I've missed you, said Senor David, spreading his big blue tarp on the ground. Your school, Armando said, I remember. The first time Senor David called his blue tarp a school, Armando hadn't understood. He thought schools had walls and floors and roofs. But Senor David said a school could be anywhere, even on a tarp in a colonia. Ready to learn more? Asked Senor David. See, the children answered, which means
Yes.
yes. Nearby, scrawny chickens pecked at the dirt. Hen, said Senor David. He flapped his arms. Brack, brack, brack. La gallina. Hen, said the children. They flapped their arms too. Brack, brack, brack. On his chalkboard, Senor David wrote the letters of the alphabet. The children called out the letters in Spanish and English. Remember, they live right next to
Mexico.
the border. They live in Mexico, right next to California. So they're learning Spanish and English together.
So if they cross the border, then they can go to
No, it just means they live in 2 different countries. They practiced words they had learned last year. House. How do you say house in Spanish?
Casa.
La casa. Boy, el muchacho. Girl, la muchacha. Very good. Muy bien,
Muy bien.
Senor David said. We'll work hard this summer, but we'll have fun too. Armando couldn't wait. That night, Armando ate slowly. At last, he asked if he could go to school on Senor David's blue tarp. Papa frowned. Do not fill your head with dreams of school. I went last year, said Armando. You're older now, said Papa. I wish things could be different, but we are pepenadores, trash pickers. Waiting for you, Greg. Waiting for you. You must do the